The path to success is not paved with sudden breakthroughs or miraculous moments. Instead, it is built upon the quiet, unrelenting effort of taking small, purposeful steps every single day. The world often celebrates grand achievements, the final triumphs that make headlines, but the truth is that these moments are merely the tip of an iceberg. Beneath them lies a foundation of consistency, discipline, and unseen persistence. This is where the true magic happens. The seemingly insignificant actions you repeat daily have the power to transform your entire existence. Life, in its essence, is the sum of repeated behaviors. Who you are today is the result of the choices you made yesterday and the days before that. As Aristotle famously said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. The challenge lies not in doing something extraordinary once, but in committing to it consistently. A single workout will not make you fit. Writing one page will not complete a novel. Investing $1 will not make you wealthy. Yet each of these actions, repeated day after day, holds the potential to create profound results over time. Consider the simple analogy of a dripping faucet filling a jar. Each drop appears meaningless on its own. If you only focus on the individual drops, you may become discouraged by their insignificance. But if you have the patience to wait, if you allow time to work alongside your efforts, you will witness the jar filled to the brim. The same principle applies to your goals. It is not the size of the steps you take that matters, but the consistency with which you take them. Success is not a sprint, it is a marathon of small, deliberate actions repeated over time. The difficulty of consistency lies in its unglamorous nature. It lacks the drama and instant gratification that so many of us crave. Showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it, requires a level of discipline that can feel exhausting. But it is precisely in these moments when motivation wanes, when progress seems invisible, that your character is tested. As the poet Rumi once said, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you. And do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come?" Consistency teaches us patience and trust in the process. It reminds us that the seeds we plant today will not bear fruit tomorrow, but they will bear fruit eventually if we care for them. In a world obsessed with quick fixes and overnight success, the ability to commit to long-term effort is a superpower. It sets you apart, not because you are doing something extraordinary, but because you have chosen to persist where others have given up. Think about the process of learning to play a musical instrument. At first, every note feels awkward, every chord disjointed. Your fingers stumble and your ears cringe at the sounds you produce. But with practice, consistent, deliberate practice, your fingers begin to move with grace. The sounds transform into music, and what once felt impossible becomes second nature. This is the beauty of small steps. They allow you to stumble, to learn, and eventually to master. Consistency also builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. On the other hand, when you break promises to yourself, you erode that trust. You start to doubt your own abilities and question your worth. This is why it is crucial to set realistic goals. Goals that allow you to succeed and build momentum. As Confucius said, the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Start small, move one stone at a time. With each stone, your confidence grows, and so does your belief in what is possible. Life is not a series of grand moments strung together. It is made up of the quiet, ordinary days that most people overlook. These are the days that shape you. When no one is watching, when there is no applause or recognition, how you choose to spend your time defines the trajectory of your life. The writer Annie Dillard beautifully captured this truth when she said, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." If you spend your days procrastinating, distracted, and unfocused, that will become your life. But if you spend your days consistently working toward your goals, no matter how small the steps, you are building a life of purpose and achievement. It is important to remember that consistency is not about perfection. You will falter. You will have days when you fall short of your intentions, and that is okay. What matters is that you pick yourself up and continue. Progress is not linear, and setbacks are not failures. They are simply part of the journey. Be kind to yourself in these moments. Allow room for imperfection, but do not allow it to become an excuse. As Winston Churchill once said, "Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." The journey of consistency also requires you to silence the noise of comparison. It is easy to look at someone else's success and feel inadequate, to measure your progress against theirs and come up short. But their journey is not yours. Focus on your path, on the steps you need to take, and trust that your efforts will lead you to where you need to be. As Theodore Roosevelt wisely said, "Comparison is the thief of joy." Protect your joy by keeping your eyes on your own progress. As you move forward, remember that every great achievement began as a simple idea paired with consistent action. The pyramids of Egypt were not built in a day. Each stone was carefully placed, one after the other, until the grand structure took shape. The same is true of your dreams. They require time, effort, and the unwavering commitment to place one stone at a time. In the end, consistency is not just a tool for success, it is a way of living. It teaches you patience, discipline, and resilience. It shows you that greatness is not reserved for the extraordinary, but is accessible to anyone willing to take small, purposeful steps every day. The power of consistency lies in its simplicity, its ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Trust in this process, and you will find that the life you dream of is not as far away as it seems. Success is not built on a single defining moment, nor is it the product of sheer talent or luck. Instead, it is the quiet, relentless result of small, deliberate actions compounded over time. This principle is both simple and profound. It reminds us that the secret to extraordinary outcomes lies in the ordinary things we do consistently, not in the occasional bursts of brilliance we might manage. The power of consistency is a force that can shape destinies, a truth as old as time and as unyielding as gravity. Think about the growth of a bamboo tree. For the first several years, it appears as if nothing is happening. You water it, tend to it, and ensure the soil is rich with nutrients, yet there's no visible progress. Then, almost miraculously, it shoots up, growing several feet in a matter of weeks. What seems like overnight success is in reality the result of years spent developing an intricate root system beneath the surface. Life often works the same way. The efforts we make, the habits we build, and the choices we repeat day after day may feel inconsequential in the moment, but they are laying the groundwork for remarkable outcomes. It's easy to underestimate the impact of small actions. After all, we live in a culture that celebrates instant gratification and dramatic transformations. But real, lasting success doesn't come from fleeting moments of inspiration or monumental leaps. It comes from the small, consistent steps we take even when the results aren't immediately apparent. As the poet John Dryden wrote, "We first make our habits, and then our habits make us." The habits you form through repetition become the foundation of your character, and your character ultimately determines your destiny. The beauty of consistency lies in its cumulative effect. Each small effort you make builds upon the last, creating a powerful ripple that grows stronger over time. Imagine a single snowflake falling to the ground. On its own, it seems inconsequential, but as it joins others, it forms a blanket of snow that can cover entire landscapes. The same is true of your action. A single act may seem insignificant, but when repeated consistently, it gains momentum, creating a force that can transform your life. This principle applies to every aspect of your existence. In relationships, for example, it's not the grand gestures that sustain a connection, but the small, thoughtful acts of kindness and understanding repeated over time. In your career, it's not about working tirelessly for a week, but showing up every day, ready to contribute and grow. In health, it's not about a single intense workout, but the discipline to move your body consistently even when you don't feel like it. Success in any form is the result of ordinary actions compounded over an extended period. Consistency requires discipline, and discipline is rarely glamorous. It asks you to show up when you're tired, to persist when you're uninspired, and to believe in the process even when the results aren't visible. It's the unsexy, uncelebrated work done in solitude that separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely dream about them. As Will Durant famously summarized Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. There's a profound strength in committing to small, manageable actions. Often we feel overwhelmed by the enormity of our goals and the distance between where we are and where we want to be. But the beauty of taking small steps is that they are achievable. You don't need to climb the entire mountain in one day. You just need to take the next step. Each step brings you closer, and each step builds the momentum that makes the journey possible. One of the greatest challenges of consistency is that it often goes unnoticed. The world rarely applauds the effort you put in when no one is watching. It doesn't celebrate the early mornings, the late nights, or the quiet sacrifices. But these moments are where true growth happens. Success is not a performance for others to admire. It's a deeply personal journey that unfolds in the choices you make when no one else is around. As C.S. Lewis once wrote, integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. To embrace consistency, you must also embrace delayed gratification. This is not easy in a world that offers instant rewards at every turn. It's tempting to seek shortcuts or quick fixes, but these are illusions. They may offer temporary satisfaction, but they cannot create lasting change. True success requires patience and a will. Consistency is also a profound act of self-respect. When you honor your commitments to yourself, you build trust in your own ability to follow through. This trust is the foundation of self-confidence. Conversely, when you break promises to yourself, you erode that trust, creating doubt and insecurity. Each time you show up for yourself, no matter how small the action, you are reinforcing the belief that you are capable and worthy of success. It's important to remember that consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will have days when you falter, when life gets in the way, or when you simply lack the energy to give your best. These moments are not failures. They are part of the process. What matters is that you don't let them derail you. Progress is not about being flawless. It's about being persistent. As Winston Churchill once said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. The journey of consistency also demands that you silence the voices of comparison and distraction. It's easy to look at someone else's progress and feel inadequate, or to be tempted by new goals before completing the ones you've already started. But true success requires focus and commitment. It's about staying on your path no matter how long it takes, and trusting that the small steps you're taking will lead you to the destination you desire. As you reflect on your goals, remember that the power of consistency is not in its speed, but in its inevitability. It is the steady drip of water that carves through stone, the relentless force that overcomes obstacles, the quiet strength that outlasts even the fiercest storms. By committing to small intentional actions, you are harnessing a force that is greater than talent, greater than luck, and greater than circumstance. You are building a foundation that cannot be shaken, a legacy that will endure.